So we're going to cover off the history of project management. This is part one of a series. Now, while doing this presentation, is I'll cover off why this book was actually written in the first place, why the history of project management is important. The book itself really was written because there's nothing out there in terms of project management history. Most of the books that have been written tend to be written within domains. So, for example, we have history of architecture or history of engineering, history of inventions, but there's nothing out there with project management. There's also a lot of misperceptions about project management, which is one of the things that we want to sort of help start to set right. And one of the misperceptions is that project management was initiated and involved in the 20th century. There's basically a school of thought that project management really started with Henry Gantt and the work he did with his charts and so on. Again, this is a contrary view to what we've basically found within the book itself, the analysis that we've done, and that project management is really a continuum that started thousands of years ago, and what we see today is just an evolution of that continuum. There's a lot of misperceptions out there. I constantly read these misperceptions. For example, scope management. Read recently, author wrote about scope management not being recognized until the 18th century. Again, I would challenge that. I don't think you could run any kind of project without a good understanding of scope management. So there is definitely an interest within the project management community for more information and linkages back. That'll take us back in time to these previous projects and see if we can pick up lessons from these. Now, why is the history of project management important? Well, a starting point really is with the growth of project management today. I mean, we've seen really an explosion of growth in the last decade. The numbers have just been quite outstanding. And if you look at the institutes like Project Management Institute or the IPMA, they're still seeing double-digit growth today. Now, again, with the prominence of project management, I think it's important to look back on the history of projects, but start to look at the projects that in terms today have been very much described not really from a project management lens, and that's what we're going to be trying to do, because most of the projects, for example, the Giza Pyramid project, has been really looked at as a traditional engineering project or from an architectural perspective, and the focus has been very much on the aesthetics or the technical aspects of that particular project. What we're going to do is we're going to look at these projects purely from a project management lens and look at them from the different aspects of project management: scope, time, cost, human resources, communications, risk, procurement, and quality. So very much the various knowledge areas that we find within the project management book of knowledge. If we look at the evolution of project management, one of the things that we do see is that the new techniques come along, but most of the practices within project management have remained fairly consistent. And what we find is that the technology changes somewhat, which opens up new opportunities. So, for example, discoveries of different types of materials really accelerated project management into different domains. And by going through the history of projects, we'll start to establish some sort of baseline that we can start measuring projects today against. It will also help put things into context and sort of steady evolution.